Welcome back again to Spotlight, where we feature the University of Central Arkansas's College of Fine Arts and Communication. I'm Donna Lampkin-Stevens. I'm joined today by my old friend, Izzy Getzoff, the director of the Conway Symphony Orchestra, and my new friend, Gunnar Bartlett, who is the Director of Development for the College of Fine Arts and Communication and the College of Liberal Arts.
Yes, ma'am.
So, welcome back to Spotlight.
Thank you.
It's been a while, Izzy.
It has.
What's been going on with the CSO?
Oh my goodness. Well, we've launched our year. It's been a very exciting beginning. Unfortunately, the first concert we gave, traditionally, it's the outdoor concert. It's a free concert for the community, although it was raining very heavily that evening. So we all squeezed into Snow Fine Arts Recital Hall, and it was kind of a lovely event because there wasn't an empty seat in the house. In fact, there were people lined up against the walls and spilled out. They were spilled out into the lobby, and it was just a huge crowd. And, you know, they say the diversity or adversity.
Yes.
I think diversity, because here at the university we talk about diversity so much. Adversity can sometimes make for wonderful things. So we turned that lemon into lemonade and had a great show.
When was that? October?
That was in September.
September
20th, I believe.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And we're here really to preview the Christmas show. Is that right?
Yes.
And the season in general.
The season in general, yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about, and Gunnar, what's your role with the symphony?
So I'm a performer. This is my 7th season with the orchestra performing, but my second as a board member, I believe. I played, then I was intern with Vicki Crockett, our general manager, and now I'm on the board and I chair the marketing and audience development. So I work closely with Izzy and some other key constituents in the community on how we can, target the audience and make sure that we're getting our story out there, but also to find shows that are going to appeal to our audience. Classical music is loved by many, but some people also don't like it, because they see it as old person's music. So we're trying to bring in some new approaches and some new ideas to our shows is really kind of my committee's responsibility.
Okay, great.
Which kind of leads us to this Christmas concert.
Sure.
So,
well, actually, Gunnar came up with a great idea for this Christmas concert. We're going to be doing part of our traditional Christmas show. We're going to be continuing our association with the Nutcracker and Arkansas Festival Ballet. So this will be the 10th year that we're doing it, and we've refreshed the show recently, and we have new scenes and new choreography. But what I'm really excited about is what Gunnar has done with the second half of the show, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
I hear it's wild.
Wild is one word to probably describe it. So this summer, when Izzy and I were looking at the programming for the season, he was in China, and I was actually calling him at like 1 a.m. my time, and then normal time for him, and we were discussing what the season was going to incorporate. And for Christmas, I kept telling him, we have to do something new. People are getting tired of just the normal pops and Nutcracker, and we started to see that in our ticket sales. And so I got this wild hair. I had gone to see this group 7 times in my life, and I loved them because it is something that is crazy and over the top, but everyone knows and loves, and that's of course the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And I knew that there were some arrangements out there where you could do a piddly little rock band with an orchestra backing it, and it would sound roughly the same and would be cool. But I wasn't going to accept that as the only option, and so I called a friend of mine at William Morris Endeavor, which is one of the world's biggest agencies, talent agencies, and they represent TSO. And I was like, I need to get in contact with, TSO's management. And he was like, why? And I was like, it's a project I'm working on. I've got a couple questions for him. And, luckily he put me in contact with him. And I explained the whole project. The CSO is a nonprofit. We are an education and performance organization for Central Arkansas when it comes to music education. And that, nothing like this has ever been done. And they loved it. They loved the idea. And fortunately enough, Adam Lind of Night Castle Management, which handles them, sent us 10 of the pieces.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was
the original sheet.
Wow.
The original sheet music.
Wow.
It was nuts. And, we're extremely fortunate. And, he just said that, don't give shout out to us, but I feel like I have to. And, Paul O'Neill, the late Paul O'Neill, was the founder of TSO. and it was his dream to see more organizations doing stuff like this. And so he said that it really hit home with them and was happy to support it. And so they gave us the music. We had to do some tweaking for our group, and from there it really evolved.
So what's your reaction to all this, Izzy? I'm sure you're excited to do new things, and you're looking for. Gunnar has great ideas for audience and other things. So what? It's been fun, I bet.
Yeah, it's going to be thrilling. I mean, it's going to be a real rock show up there. The orchestra, and Gunnar has put together a wonderful 10-piece band: electric violin, guitars, drums, keyboards, and they've synced it all. They've coordinated it all through technology to the lighting. So the lights are going to flash when the chords go ba-bum, the lights will go ba-bum, and it's going to be just like the real deal. And our orchestra is going to be sawing away up there. So it's going to be a fun event. One of my favorite things is you'll hear Nutcracker presented in its traditional way with the yum ba da dun 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 dun, and then the second half when we bust out the electric guitars and electric violin, you'll hear and the contrast is going to be so much fun.
So it will be after intermission? Is that how we'll do it?
Yeah, so the show will be structured. We'll open it up with, of course, Leroy Anderson's famous sleigh ride. And then we'll go into the Nutcracker, and I don't know how many movements there are in the Nutcracker.
13.
We're doing 13. And then we'll take a brief intermission, and the stage will be struck. The pyro and the spark cannons will be brought out, and the lights will be lowered in. And then we'll go into, the TSO portion. And, there's an element that I'm completely leaving out, and I can't believe I am, is we've hired a local production company. And we say local, but they were actually one of the first groups that did TSO and Verizon, Alltel at the time,
sure.
when they came. And so they know this production, and it's Mark Malone with Solid Rock Audio. And they're coming in, they're going to be flying in the lights, the big speakers.
Because you had to have something like that. You didn't
have to.
that.
That's the thing I told him. I was like, if we're going to do this,
let's do it right.
We have to do it right.
Go
because,
big or go
because
home.
the music itself is cool, and it's fun, and it's just that gritty metal sound. But unless it's accompanied by the light show and everything else that goes with that, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And so we've hired out this company to come in, and they are going to, I believe in 2 weeks, they're taking over Reynolds Performance Hall to completely outfit it. And then on Friday, December 6th, we'll have our first rehearsal where we'll be in the hall with the full orchestra, with the full rock band, with the lights, the lasers, everything. And then it's, December 7th, we'll be able to rock out Reynolds.
So it's at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, December 7th.
Yeah.
And tell us about tickets.
ConwaySymphony.org. It's as easy as that.
Okay.
ConwaySymphony.org, right on the first page. On Izzy's picture, it'll say, get your tickets today. And you click it, and boom, you'll get them. And there's discounts available for faculty, staff of UCA. After that, if you want to sit closer, you want to be closer to the closer to the rock.
Feel the heat.
Yeah, you got to bump up that price a little bit, but and then students. We always say this at students,
right.
and it's not just UCA students. That's a common misconception.
Okay.
It's a student of any school, whether K-12 or college. Show a valid student ID, $5 ticket.
Oh, great!
And so
great.
we want to make sure that it's accessible and attainable to all ages. So.
And of course, you can always go to the Reynolds box office
Of course.
while during the hours they're open.
Yeah, and buy them in person. So.
So tell us about the rest of the season. How many shows are there?
Well, we're doing 6 concerts this year. So this will be after the Christmas concert, will be through the first half of the season. Coming up in 2020, I can't believe it's
Yeah, that's crazy.
2020 already, my goodness. We're going to be doing a concert that is of all American music, and it's designed to unify our country, this
We need
concert.
that, don't we, in
So
an election
that's
year?
right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be celebrating what we can all enjoy and appreciate about our nation and its founding and its values. We're going to be playing a piece by Copeland, which is a very famous piece, but not everybody knows about it. It's called Lincoln Portraits. And it actually has the spoken words of Abraham Lincoln in the piece. Yeah. And it's a very, very moving work. That'll be, on that concert also, we'll have Copeland's Fanfare for the Common Man, which is very famous and glorious and instantly recognizable. We'll also be playing another famous composition, American in Paris, which many people know from the movie. But strangely enough, the composition was written by Gershwin first, and then the movie was based on the composition.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that whole dance scene in the end of the movie, that's basically the music itself. And that was so the movie was inspired by the composition. So we're renting the taxi horns and getting all the saxophones together to put on that piece. And we're going to have a guest artist who 40 years ago came to this country from Taiwan to study music. And strangely enough, he wound up at UAMS studying medicine.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's an amazing story. And then he was called back to Taiwan to teach music. And 40 years later, he's retiring as a distinguished professor at the top national arts university. And so he's going to make his return to Arkansas after 40 years to play some American music for us. So we're thrilled to be working with him.
So when is that concert?
That is
February
14th.
Is it Valentine's Day?
It's
I
not
can't remember.
Valentine's Day. I think you might be right. It's the Saturday. I think it's the 15th. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And so after that, what's next on the schedule?
Then we're doing
that's the collaboration
Would
with
you like to
Reynolds.
talk about our collaboration with Reynolds
Yeah.
and the history behind that?
So Amanda Horton, well, it precedes Amanda, I'm pretty sure, with Jerry Biebesheimer, that has tried to use Reynolds as the opportunity to have this collaboration between the Symphony and our campus performance hall. And then when Amanda came here, she really ramped it up and was like, what can we do that's new? And so in years past, we've had, the 14th winner of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition, Vadim Kolodenko, which, if you know anything about the Van Cliburn competition, whoever wins it is the best pianist in the world at that time. And so he was here and we got to perform with him. We've had Randy Newman, composer and songwriter, and we did works of his. And then we've done Disney in concert, which is music from all different Disney films, and we did Pixar in concert, which is a similar thing, but when we did the Pixar in concert, we ramped it up and did all these different pieces, but they were set to a click track, so you had portions of the movie playing behind. Well, now we're taking the giant leap, and we are doing a full-length feature film, orchestra on stage, full movie behind us with a click track, and we're providing the film score, and that's going to be the newest version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
And
that's in April?
This is in
March
March.
7th.
Okay.
March 7th.
It's almost like you could think of it as reverse karaoke.
Yeah.
Because we're inserting the soundtrack, whereas it's the original vocals and lines and the pictures from the movie.
Yeah.
So instead of
fun.
hearing it in through your speakers, you'll be hearing the music part
Yeah.
live, which will be fabulous.
That's wonderful.
It's really cool. I mean, we've seen our our colleagues all across the state do shows like this, and it's really interesting to see what you're hearing happen, in front of you. Get to see the work it takes for the orchestra to make those kinds of sounds that really, inspire, or that make you fearful in the moment. And, what a movie other than Beauty and the Beast that does all of those things wrapped into one. So it's going to be a really fun experience, I think.
And then, is there one more
There's
after
the
that?
last
There is one
concert.
more. We're doing a big classical concert. We're going back to a work that I did with Conway Symphony about 9 or 10 years ago, and I'm so excited to revisit, which is one of the staples of the orchestral repertoire. We all know the 3 Bs, Bach, Beethoven, and the third one, Johannes Brahms. And we're playing Brahms's beautiful, gorgeous, lush, sunny Second Symphony, and we're going to pair that with the Die Meistersinger Overture by Richard Wagner, and a to-be-announced piece, because we are having a competition to select the best soloist of the realm, you might say, the best young musician around. So that's going to be happening internally in December, and then we'll be announcing who that person is. It could be a saxophone, it could be a marimba player, it could be a cellist. We don't know yet.
But it would be a UCA student?
This competition is held just for our talented UCA music department students, who are, of course, the best in the state. So we're really excited to have the opportunity to feature them. And the hard part is there are so many of them that are worthy of the opportunity and could step up and really do it, but we can only choose one.
It's
So
always
who's
rough.
choosing?
We have a little committee, a little panel of professionals.
tough.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
It is a tough.
And that will be in May?
that will be in April.
Middle of April.
Middle of
Yes.
April. Okay, so then the season.
And
will-
then
yeah,
then we
yeah.
turn towards next
So
year.
Izzy, how lucky are we to have the CSO here? I mean, how many symphony orchestras are there in Arkansas?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good question.
You know, there are no orchestras like the Conway Symphony,
Right,
and I'll tell
right.
you why. Because the Conway Symphony is a perfect combination of all of the resources we have in this community. We have all the professional musicians that live and work in Conway in Central Arkansas, and many of them play in top orchestras and do the highest level of professional work in the States. And those people play for us. And then we also have this upcoming generation, the next generation of those folks who are currently training to become that, and they're being trained by our professors who are already the professionals. And it's that combination of the really eager, curious young people sitting with it's literally side by side with really experienced veteran musicians that makes the Conway Symphony sound the way it is. Because not only do you see the professional musicians giving a little tip here or there to the college student musicians, sometimes you'll see, I'll go in the hallway and people say, I remember the first time I played this piece too, and it really makes me feel so excited to see the look in their eyes and see the enthusiasm of somebody who is performing it for the first time. So in that sense, this is a very, very unique orchestra. But if you're asking about how many functional orchestras,
Didn't Pine Bluff lose theirs a few
yes,
years ago?
exactly.
They did. That
Pine
was,
Bluff,
that was about 5
yeah.
years ago.
Texarkana and Fort Smith, and there's this group called Sona up in northwest Arkansas. They're doing okay. I hear that the Arkansas Philharmonic, which is also northwest Arkansas, isn't doing so hot. Arkansas Symphony is still very strong and proud.
And we're proud of that. I mean, a lot of our musicians are shared,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
In fact, I'll be conducting them this weekend.
yeah,
so
exactly.
we,
it's a good symbiotic relationship we have with
Which
them.
we want, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But really, there's a handful.
There's,
across
I would
the
say
state.
there's less than 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I
so-
was counting in my head, but like Izzy says, we're the only one with this model,
Right,
and
right.
it's a successful model. And you know, having been a student,
I was going to ask, what was your
Yeah.
experience as?
Well, like
when,
Izzy-
when did you play as a freshman?
I played all 4 years of my collegiate.
And what did you play?
So I played percussion in the percussion section my first year. Then the 3 years left of my undergrad, I was the principal timpani player. And then when I came back for graduate work, I still played timpani, but I conducted. That's what I got my graduate work done, was orchestral conducting.
Okay.
But Izzy hit the nail on the head saying that being a student, you know, there's not a safer place to mess up than that organization when you're in practicing, because you have these adults and professionals that will say, I remember that. I remember making that mistake. I remember this and the other, because the orchestral world is very finicky. There is a lot of politics, but there's a lot of, you know, professionalism and a lot of decorum that you've got to learn. And having those people that are able to be your mentors and teach you that and give you that real world experience during your formative years and your collegial experience is very
So how many,
interesting.
give me some numbers. How many UCA students are involved?
We have about 45 or 50.
Is that typical year after year?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, and then we have somewhere from 20 to 25 professional musicians, and those numbers fluctuate based on the needs of the different pieces. You know, sometimes you need more horns, or you need a harp or two. So we strike a balance between those populations.
You look at your stuff like Beethoven or Brahms, you want to try to mimic what the composer wanted in forces size, how many people on stage. But the second you go and you do John Williams, you know you're going to have a massive orchestra to pull that work off. So it really does depend. But the student numbers stay pretty solid, you know, from year after year, because you have your strings and you have all your winds and percussion. So
Well, it's been an interesting fall at UCA.
it has.
We're moving. The College of Fine Arts and Communication is going to go in with the College of Liberal Arts as the new College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. That's not really going to affect us in doing what we do, right?
I think that enables us to be more successful.
I
You
think
know,
so.
it creates. It's kind of like the joining of party lines. You know, is where you can really foster this collaboration amongst different departments that you never would have done that with. I know the CSO has collaborated with the Arkansas Shakespeare Theater and the theater department in the past, and now we have the ability to do more, really tap into our education and outreach with history or English or
with
whatever
the
else.
with the American music.
Exactly.
There's
That's
a lot
an
of
example.
potential. We've collaborated with the folks at the planetarium here. We've collaborated with the folks at the Baum Gallery to feature a work that reflected on art. So having the liberal arts under our umbrella and access to all the creative minds in English and history and philosophy and even politics. Speaking of Abraham Lincoln earlier.
Sure.
So there are a lot of opportunity. I think we're just beginning to sort of get our heads around what the future could be for this new
college.
The new way that things are organized.
And it will be effective July 1st, but we're beginning to move that direction.
Well, I think, I hit the road with Dean Williams a lot, and, something that he says that is very important to me, and I know it's important to several faculty and and it's definitely important to the administration, is that this not be something that was a surprise, that we take the time from now until that point where it is officially official as the new College of Arts, Humanities, Social Sciences, to really mold it to exactly what it needs to be to satisfy student success and to make sure our faculty feel heard and that they have had the input to make this what it needs to be.
And on the horizon is the new Wingate Center for the Fine and Performing Arts. So tell us a little bit. That's a lot of your job.
That is a lot of my job. That's the main course on my plate right now. As you know, director of development means that I am an ambassador for the university and fundraising and everything like that. And that is the number one thing. And as we all know, we got $20 million challenge gift from the Wingate Foundation, $19 million going towards the capital campaign for the building, and then $1 million going towards satisfying their scholarship and really making sure that we get some more students in the visual arts. But that $19 million is going to the efforts to build a $45 million new Fine and Performing Arts Center, and it's going to incorporate music, visual arts, and theater. We'll have a new black box theater in it. That's going to be the home for Arkansas Shakespeare Theater. We're going to have a new concert hall, which is something that we will be one of the only institutions to have. A-State has a
I didn't realize that.
a concert hall. It's it's definitely old style, and the stage is not going to be as big as ours, but but we will have an official concert hall, as well as teaching studio space for music, and then visual arts studio space and everything. It's going to be a massive building. I mean, it's going to put some other buildings on campus to shame.
So will that make CSO move away from rentals, or just
Potentially
depending
for
on
some concerts.
For some concerts, okay.
Something like we're doing with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra requires all the mechanisms
rigging.
of
sure.
and it's interesting to think. Not a lot of people take the time to think about the difference between a concert hall versus, you have a hall with a curtain and a proscenium arch that you might see a play in, where they have all the riggings and they can fly things down. And then you have a music concert hall, which is essentially one room, one shell, and all the performers are under the same space, and and the audience, and there's no curtain. And acoustically speaking, that's preferable for sound.
Absolutely.
That's why when in Reynolds we currently have that wooden shell that we put behind the orchestra when we perform. So to have both options will really give us a
gonna be
lot of
great.
flexibility.
Yeah, and I don't know many orchestras that can have two homes.
I was going to say, I
we'll
bet we're going to be
And
unusual.
it's going to be successful. We really, really believe that with the building itself. All the people that will now call this home, and with it being on the corner of Bruce and Donaghy there, it's going to become the hub. You have that integrated health science building, a new parking lot that everybody's asking for, the Donaghy Hall and whatnot. That's going to become the new home and the new hub in the center of campus. And so we're really excited to see that. We have a meeting later today where we're talking about the Wingate Center.
So am I right? Groundbreaking next fall?
Yes, as far as the last
That's the plan.
projections we have, construction projects change. You know, you
Sure.
have different weather, political things. You know, with how the climate is, it really depends. But yes, we are looking at a groundbreaking next fall, and we're working on making it the biggest groundbreaking we've seen.
Okay.
You know, because when you have the arts involved,
Yeah.
there's nothing shy of going over the top here. So it's going to be pretty awesome, I think.
And construction 1 year, year and a half?
Well,
2
years.
2 years.
2
So
years,
you're
okay.
looking at a groundbreaking in fall of 2020, and then its first academic semester would be
Fall of 2022.
Fall of 22.
Okay,
And we would. It's actually about 18 months.
Okay.
You know, really to build a building, but you want to make sure that you have your soft opening the semester before. You transition everyone over to the new building. You're moving in, you make sure the phones work, the light
Sure.
switches turn everything on, the toilets flush, stuff like that, and then you move in students to where they can make their new home.
It's hard enough to imagine moving your family of 4 to a new home, but if you have to move multiple faculty and documents and records and business offices,
Pianos.
equipment,
Oh,
large-
yeah.
so
Oh,
many
yeah.
pianos, not to mention 300 people who would use the building or more on a daily basis. It's quite an undertaking.
It is.
How excited are you, Izzy? You've been here a long time, and how exciting is this for you?
Well, this is a very exciting time at UCA, and there's a lot of potential for the future, and it's great to see the arts put out there in the forefront with our other. We have so many things to be excited about at UCA, and so many things to cheerlead about, and the sciences, all sorts of different programs that we have. But arts is right up there with the top, and it's so great to see the resources that our students need being consolidated to put everybody in the same building and to really give us a chance to shine for the community.
Excellent. Okay, so one last time, Conway Symphony Orchestra Christmas concert,
Yep.
December 7th, Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Absolutely.
Tickets available at
ConwaySymphony.org.
ConwaySymphony.org or at Reynolds Performance Hall's
Absolutely.
box office. So thanks so much for joining us on
course.
Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
We'll see you again next time. We'll be back again next time for Spotlight.
What will you find at UCA?
The next generation of artists
educators,
and communicators.
The College of Fine Arts and Communication offers 42 undergraduate and graduate programs of exceptional quality.
Contributing to a deeper appreciation of the human experience.
but we also invest in your experience.
With broadcasts, conferences, exhibits, live performances,
Publications, recitals, readings, and screenings.
We even offer a unique artist-in-residence program.
Featuring performances and master classes with accomplished visiting artists.
All of that experience pays off.
The school placement rates of our music teacher graduates with K-12 certification is close to 100%. We have many disciplines here, but they all share the same dedication to rigorous practice,
And scholarly achievement.
which is why our graduates perform so well.
The College of Fine Arts and Communication at the University of Central Arkansas.
Go here and go anywhere.